Hello everybody, John here, and today on To The Garage I'm sharing with you some of the collection of mods parts I'm putting together. Been a lot of questions recently on, am I going to sort my exhaust, am I going to sort this, am I going to sort that, I'm going to put new tyres on the back. I haven't got all the money in the world, so I have to ration myself. So what I've decided to go for is, my next big mod is to sort out the brakes. Stopping is more important, if not as exciting, as going and sounding fabulous. So I'm going to sort the brakes out. And that's not a cheap issue either, because I'm going to do it properly. What's my plan? What's my mission? My car is an early XK8 Sport. And what that means is it's got the smallest diameter brakes that were fitted to any of the XK8 XKR range. They're 305mm discs at the front. One of the easy options you can have for upgrading them, and I say easy, lots, is switch over to later Brembo systems that are fitted to the XKR, which are magnificent, but will cost you a lot of money, even second hand, and will necessitate increasing the size of the wheels. I have 18-inch wheels, and I think you've got to go up to the 20s to get the full-size Brembos in there, and you're going to spend a lot of money. I quite like some of the originality. I'm not somebody who's got to have the right serial numbers on anything, you know, I'm not like that, but I do like to keep the car reasonably original. So what I want to do is, I want to keep 305mm discs and my standard wheels, and upgrade everything within that envelope to give me the best brakes I can have. So I've started collecting the parts. They're not all here yet, but I'm quite excited and want to open the boxes, so I thought I'd share with you guys. So what have we got? So first of all, I got a set of EBC braided hoses for all four wheels. I will be sorting out the rears as well completely, but these were much cheaper as a package of 4 than they were to get 2 and then spend again later. So what you got here is a classic stainless steel braided hose. EBC is a good company in the UK, designs and manufactures a lot of its own brake stuff. These are stainless steel braided hose, Teflon liner, and they have a over braid transparent coating, so it stops them getting abraded. And I got all the nice fittings, banjo bolts, and all the fittings and copper washers that I need came with. So very happy with them, and I had already opened those. And the advantage with that is, when you're braking, some of the braking effort and some of the braking feel is lost as the rubber hoses expand rather than pushing their fluid towards the brakes. It's a small amount, but obviously gets worse as the brake lines get much older. But it's always there. The pipes can expand because the hydraulic fluid shouldn't, and it's being forced into a dead end. Something's got to give. It tends to be the brake lines are the things that give the most. These won't give very much at all, and instantly will improve brake feel on their own. As I say, EBC is a good manufacturer, like one of the quality brands. And I mentioned this before on some stuff, if you're in the UK particularly, although it's a German standard, this is a good sign, TUV. If the product you're going to fit is TUV approved, then you know that it's subject to some quite rigorous and stringent rules. In Germany, the TUV is kind of the equivalent of the British MOT. I don't know what the term is in the States or Australia, but once a year you have to get your car checked out. If you try and mod a car in Germany and you put on parts which are not original equipment and have not been TUV approved, whoops, then they can take your car off you. So in Germany particularly, it's very hard to mod a car without using the right parts. And people who are able to provide certification to prove where their product, sorry it's flaring a bit, where their product's been tested and the fact that it complies with the original manufacturer's specs and then some, is how you get stuff through TUV. So it's a really good sign of quality if you're shopping on eBay or something like that, where you got the mix of brands, you don't really know a lot about some of them. TUV approval is a good sign. Made in Britain is a good sign, but I'm heavily biased. Right, then we got this big bad boy, and this is a kit, a front axle kit from EBC, and I have not gone for standard. I've gone for a really upgraded setup whilst retaining the original diameters. So let's have a look. Right, let's establish the easiest way in. It's not obvious. We're going in this way. Woo-hoo-hoo! Look at this. Okay, so let's see how we get these things out. So I've got that box, and in here that box, and I think that's just packaging. Yep. So see, this is a pads and discs kit. As they manufacture their own pads as well, you get discounts if you buy them as packages. So what have we got here? We have not to be sold individually, PDK pad and disc kit, which not to be sold individually. And I've gone for EBC's Red Stuff ceramic based pad set. This is on here. Suitable for Jaguar XK8, Sovereign XK8, XJR, XJR8, XJ8, I'm sure that's repeated, XK8 and XKR, 4 pads per set. And on the back here, there's all the info about the various pads that they do. They colour code them to give you an indication of what they're best for. I had a right argument with myself about which one to go for. Green Stuff is the first one in the rankings, if you like, the lowest one, but actually gives really good upgrade in braking performance. But it achieves that by generating quite a lot of dust. So a soft, high friction aramid formulation for high initial brake effect and fade resistance on sport compacts and hot hatches in street use. You know, that would have done me, to be fair, except I can't cope with the idea of all the brake dust. My car goes on track once in a blue moon, so you know, would have been fine. Instead, I've gone for the Red Stuff, the ceramic series, a ceramic particle enhanced lower dust aramid formulation for fast street use on premium import and domestic passenger cars. And the premium actually just means heavy, if we're honest. So pretty much made for something like a Jaguar. The one above that, yellow stuff, ultra high performance aramid formulation for brake improvement on heavily loaded vehicles or ultra fast street use and entry level track day use on passenger cars and muscle cars. Now the problem when you go to that sort of level is you're starting to get to the point where the brakes don't work as well until they're warm. And you know, I drive down the motorway for 4 hours. I want the brakes to be brilliant as soon as I use them. I don't want to think, oh, it could be better next time. And then there are all sorts of other variants on these, going right up to things like blue stuff, long-lasting, high-friction aramid pad for ultra-fast street and track day and race use on sport compacts and muscle cars. Good brake effect from cold, high heat threshold, but you're getting quite extreme then, and you start to eat your own discs. So I'm only one up from the bottom, and that's fine by me because I know these from a previous experience to be excellent brakes. Just going to take the seal off, which is holographic sealed so that you know nobody's been in there. Dibby-dibby-doo. Why can't I open it? There we go. So, got a little card thanking you for buying EBC products. The all-important EBC Brakes stickers. Your Performance Brakes leaflet. See if there's anything other than just safety in here. Usually just legalese. Oh no. Wow. There is an EBC produced installation DVD available on our website. I have to check that out. Install, broke leader. Yeah, rotor condition must be good. Early use bedding in. So I'll be reading in on that because I know these brakes are a little unusual in that regard. And warranty. So we got that info. We got this, which probably is something to do with the materials that are in it, and certification for TUV. Service instructions. Yep. Okay. Let's have a look at the main event. Oops. Oh, nearly dropped them. So obviously red back plates. Would not be called red stuff without it. Red stuff ceramic, made in the UK, and then the code numbers made in England. Flip them over, and this is just overspray. But this stuff in the middle is the running in compound. So they have actually got a coating on which is there to help bed them in with the disc and speed up that running in process, because the ceramic brakes would basically just cut the disc if they didn't mate nicely. So you essentially got this this compound that's going to gently buff the disc into the right shape and condition to accept the pad. So a little unusual. So very exciting. Just check, we have 4. 2 of them are conventional. 2 of them have the caliper grippers on. So the caliper has a circular socket in it, so the piston, sorry, so that you can slide this inside and a non-metallic backing. It's probably a neoprene, something like that. Hard rubber, essentially, to stop squealing. And again, break-in compound. Unusual looking stuff, isn't it? It's like Artex. So, there's my EBC brake pads and the discs. And again, I've not gone for standard. We've got the TUV approved on, always a good sign. And these are USR 952s. EBC do completely standard discs and pads if you want them, just built to a nice high quality. But I decided upgrades were needed. Still trying to decide my way in. Oh, that's heavy. There we go. Left hand and right hand. That's good to know, but I've not got two the same. Considering they're brake discs, these are nicely packaged. Feels like you're getting something worth having. Oh. EBC must be like the Apple of packaging for heavy car parts. Oh. Come on. Out you come. Oh. It's the vacuum on the boxes that are that well fitted. There we go. Woo. Whew. That's quite a chunky bit of kit. Instructions in different languages. Instructions in different languages. Instructions in different languages. The correct corrosion protective film on natural silver coloured rotors must be removed carefully by using a suitable contact cleaner. Thermic coated discs and rotors do not have a protective film. Do not remove the black coating. Okay, sure you want to see what I've bought. Again, struggling to get in the boxes. Is there an easy way and a hard way? Because I seem to be picking all the hard ways. There we go. And da, 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 da. There they are. Thermic coated, grooved discs. Vented, as you'd expect. Heavy on the inside. First thing that strikes me is actually the casting quality is ridiculously good considering what they are. I've got some other discs knocking around somewhere, I'll show you. These are actually beautifully cast vanes and vents. Very often they're right ratty things and you'd be surprised if they were getting 50% of the airflow that they could have. These things are like turbines. Right, I'm going to put this on the bench because it's bloody heavy. These are the USR brakes by EBC. So they've got this thermic coating which should stop the corrosion, maintains a really nice smooth finish in order to give maximum braking contact area for your pads. The grooves are in there to allow gases to escape from the pads. You tend to get almost like an aquaplaning effect, if you imagine it in the extreme, where if a pad's pressing against a smooth surface and it's a wide pad, heat generates gas, whether it's something coming out of the material of your disc, it's coming out of the material of your pad, or it's just the air that's trapped in there heating up. And you can get this aquaplaning almost effect of the air cushion between these two items, preventing a really, really intimate contact. So a lot of discs will have a groove that spirals from center to edge, and that is a really good way of getting the air out. The negative of that is that can generate quite a lot of noise, and you get these whooshing noises every time that you touch the brake pads. Fine on a track, not so good on a luxury car. So that's why EBC have come up with this sort of unusual grooving effect. Gives you a percentage of that excellent effect you get from a fully grooved without any of the noise. So I'm really liking that. Also, you can get cross drilled, which means there's a hole all the way through the disc, all over the place, in between the venting. And that's great for, again, allowing the air to escape. But what it does tend to do is, in heavy use, they tend to crack, and the discs are more prone to warping, because on a vented disc, particularly if you don't have lots of great veins like in this, maybe you've got half as many, you've got a strong part, then a weak part, then a strong part, then a weak part. And if you're cross drilling it as well, then as the pad runs over the disc and everything's nice and hot, you can start to get the whole thing distorting minutely and starting to set up vibrations. So these are not extreme track day discs. What they are is a good upgrade over standard. They look magnificent, obviously, and they're well manufactured. Just going to see if I can fetch a standard disc for you. Here we go. There's a standard disc. And yes, I've saved old discs. I know, I'm just mad. I did have a plan for them, and that was to make some like tripod bases almost. Use these as a heavy base and have a welder post up on them to put a light on. But yeah, never got to that, so they just sat in the garage forever. Look, that's what I mean. And obviously it's got a lot of corrosion on it, but they're really tatty, rough castings. And unlike the EBC, where you can see plain as day through, because the gaps are nice, I'm trying to show daylight through it and getting nowhere. There we go. If I try and contrast that for you, look at the difference. So, quite an exciting unpacking, or at least for me it is. That's not the complete package though, guys, so I'm still waiting for some more deliveries. And everything's for the front at the moment. I will sort the back out, but obviously the front makes the 90% of the effort, I would imagine, in terms of braking performance. I've ordered a complete seal kit for the front calipers. I've ordered new brake bleed nipples, and I've also ordered 2 new pistons. So that essentially I'll be taking everything that I'm keeping back to as new, and everything that I'm able to, I'm upgrading, but without going mad, without going extreme. This is not a track day car. I just occasionally take it on a track. But I do want the brake feel to be better. I've always said that the XK8 has completely adequate brakes. There is nothing wrong with them. You can lock them up, but they always feel just that little bit dead, need just a little bit too much shove for my liking for such a heavy, high performance sports GT car. They should have a little bit more edge. So keep tuned, keep coming back, make sure you subscribe, and when you subscribe, hit the little bell icon, and that just sends you a notification to tell you when the next videos come up, because who can tell? As soon as I get the other stuff through, I'll show you that, and then we'll be into sticking everything on here, and maybe doing a few other things to the brakes whilst we're in there as well. And I'll show you how I go about bleeding them, changing all fluids out, because obviously I'm going to swap everything back to fresh, and really looking forward to it. That's me run out of money for a bit. So see you very soon when I found some more pennies and can get the rest of the bits together, but I do need to finish this little project. See you soon, guys. Bye.